been a few weeks, but we are back with another segment of Theater Talk with Taylor and Tyler. This time we're headed back to Lees of Lecomte for CA Studios' latest production, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
Yeah, very excited about this. Generally speaking, the show is an immersive look into the mind of a young boy with autism as he tries to solve a mystery of a boy who killed his neighbor's dog. The director, Kathy Earhart-Webb, says this show is all about relationships and how people build them and relate to other people who are different from themselves. She says the cast and crew have learned a lot about perspective and human nature through the rehearsal process.
Now, she says through this show, she's hoping that the audience will see life from a different point of view and learn something about relating to others in their own lives outside of the theater.
Audiences should understand that autistic people or Asperger's people are just like us. They just don't relate quite the same way. Audiences should, I hope, welcome the people who are different a little bit more after seeing this. Have an understanding of that.
Now, a lot of the actors we sat down with say this show has been really eye-opening for them in that way. They've been able to step into these characters who are handling situations in some different ways and see that we all have so much to learn from people who are different from ourselves.
Yeah, and of course, with such deep subject matter, getting into character is extremely important, and the actors are taking their portrayals of these characters very seriously.
I have to start with the lines. I've got to get those off book as soon as possible because that's how I can start to actually interact with people with those words and start to kind of make those words my own. And that way I can sort of start to build that relationship on stage, and you build that trust with each other on stage through rehearsals and going over it again and again.
And Natalie Weaver, who you just saw there, is a veteran to the stage, but for some performers, Taylor, this is their very first time taking on a show of this magnitude.
Yeah, and that's exactly true of the play's lead, Tyler Nobles. You see him there. He plays Christopher. This is the first time he's had such a large part, and he says teamwork has helped him get ready for opening night.
All these people have been helping me with how they get their lines and how they kind of just like process it in their head, and how the rehearsals have worked is just kind of helped me out a lot with how the character thinks and acts, which has helped me a lot, helped me understand a little bit of the character I'm playing as.
And now there is some adult language in this show and some tough themes, and that means at some points things turn a little physical. That's where fight choreographer CJ Gotro steps in to make sure things not only look believable like you see there, but that everyone is safe.
Yeah, he certainly knows what he's doing. He says to make fight choreography fit into a show, it really needs to be true to the story and the setting.
The most important thing when I start to craft a fight scene is what lines are going into it, what's happening around the fight scene, because for all the work that I put into it, the punches, the kicks, the throws, the slaps, really what sells the scene is the acting between those beats. So once we capture all of the feeling between the actual choreographed movement, that's when the magic can begin.
Now, the show is an emotional one and definitely something that all audience members will find something to take away with them.
Even some of the actors say the show has changed them for the better.
That touched me really good. Actually almost teared up because I did read the book during the process of the show, so I knew what was going to happen.
You know, and after watching just a little bit the other day, I can tell you this is surely not a show that you will want to miss.
Yeah, and it's certainly something that many of us can relate to. Either you know somebody in your family or you know someone who has autism, so it's going to be relatable in that way. And of course, you see all the information there on your screen. The show starts tomorrow night, June 1st through the 3rd and 8th through the 10th at Lees of Lecomte on Louisville Avenue in Monroe, and you can call that number there at the bottom of your screen for tickets.
And just one more quick reminder here, there is some severe language in the show, so it's not something that you might want to bring small children to, or if you do bring kids, you want to make sure you have that conversation with them ahead of time.
Absolutely, and that's something that the director, Miss Kathy Webb, mentioned, was that the language is absolutely necessary for the story. So
absolutely.
There's no harm intended by the language.
No, not at all.
All right, let's get a check of that forecast with Cameron Dotry. Good morning, Cam.